The car sped down the road, driven by Matt, who was pretty used to driving on post-apocalyptic roads, and it wasn't just any road he was driving along, but the main street leading right up to base that he had driven up and down dozens of times before. He glanced over at the passenger seat where Sue was sat cross-legged as she always did. "You should put your seatbelt on, Sue," he said to her. Sue shrugged. "It's not like we're going to get into a collision." "There are no other cars on the road," she said as they passed an old beat-up four-wheeler with all the glass gone, no doors and vines growing along the roof. No moving cars anyway. "You need to loosen up, Matt," came Luke's voice from the back seat. "We just have to go round the stadium and we are home." "I can't wait to get some food," Penelope, who was sat next to Luke, said. "Anything could happen. I just want to make sure we are all safe," Matt told them. He glanced to his left where the sun was low in the sky, partly hidden by the buildings. "It's late. I don't like getting back this close to sunset." Luke let out an exasperated sigh. "Relax, dude. We have done this supply run 1,000,000 times." "It's better to be safe than sorry," Matt said before glancing back at Sue. "Please?" he said, and she smiled, uncrossed her legs and put her seatbelt on. "Just for you." "Ooh, lovebirds over here," Luke said, and Penelope laughed. Sue blushed and looked down as Matt glanced back at Luke. "Shut up, Luke. You are—" "Look out!" Sue shouted, and Matt snapped his head forward just in time to see the deer bounding across the road. He pulled on the steering wheel hard, but it was too late. The car smashed into the deer and all of a sudden they were spinning. Matt felt weightless for a moment, then there was a deafening crash and everything went black. Matt was warm and comfortable. For the first time in a long time, he was somewhere where he felt completely safe, like no harm could ever come to him. There were voices around him, calling out to him, begging him to wake up, but they were low and muffled, and they wanted to take him away from the safe place, so he happily ignored them. Then he felt hands on him, gripping him hard and shaking him. The voices were louder now, more insistent. "Matt," one voice said. "Matt, wake up! Wake up, damn it! Wake up!" Matt flicked his eyes open as everything came back to him. "Oh, thank God. Matt, are you okay?" He looked over at Sue. "I think so," he managed to utter. They were upside down, but the both of them were still strapped to their seats. "Luke? Penelope?" he called. "I'm alright, but Luke..." Penelope trailed off. Matt tried to turn, but the seatbelt was locked, stopping him from moving. "What is it? What's happened to Luke?" he asked. "He's unconscious, but he's breathing." "Okay, good. We just have to get out of here." He pulled a knife from his waistband. "Use your knives, cut the belts," he said before he went to work on his own. "Matt?" Sue said hesitantly. "What is it?" She pointed forward. "The engine is smoking." He looked forward and sure enough, thick grey smoke was billowing from the engine. "I am not sure, but I think I smell oil," Penelope added. Matt smelt it too. "Hurry, go, get out." He sawed at the seatbelt with vigor until his knife cut its way through. He fell from the seat and managed to turn his head just in time, so he landed on his shoulder instead. A moment later, Sue fell as well, and she followed him as Matt scrambled through the window on the driver's side where all the glass had broken in the crash. Once he was outside the car, Matt could see the true extent of the damage. The front end was crumpled, with deer blood and fur visible on the twisted metal. Two of the wheels were still spinning wildly, and the smoke from the engine was getting darker by the second. What made shivers go down Matt's spine, however, was the oil pooling underneath the car and running in thin streams along the road. He bent down at the back window and saw Penelope struggling with Luke's seatbelt. "It won't cut," she said frantically. "Just get out, go," Matt yelled as he reached in and started cutting at the belt with his own knife, trying to get his friend free. Penelope crawled out the car to the other side and shouted, "There's fire! Matt, we have to get away!" Sue pulled at his shoulder, but Matt held firm. "No, I'm not leaving him," he said through gritted teeth. It was at that moment that Luke opened his eyes. He looked around confused first, then he focused in on Matt. The flames at the front of the car were clearly visible to all of them now, burning a bright orange. Luke's eyes widened. "What the..." Then the knife cut through the seatbelt and Matt yanked Luke through the broken window with all his might. They fell to the ground in a heap. "Run!" Matt yelled as they jumped up. They had barely taken 4 steps when the car exploded, sending them flying through the air. Matt hit the ground hard, his ears rang and his eyes stung, but he was alive. Luke was next to him coughing, while Sue had gotten further away and was still on her feet. She rushed to him now and helped him stand up. "Is everything okay?" Penelope said as she walked up to them. She had clearly gotten away from the blast in time as well. Matt looked questioningly at Luke, who gave a thumbs up as he coughed one more time. "We're fine, but our ride home isn't," Matt said, looking at the smoking mess that had been their car. The sun was almost completely below the horizon now, and night meant death. Everyone knew that. "It's fine, we just have to get around the stadium," Sue said. "We won't make it in time if we go around," Penelope responded. "We have to go through." "Are you crazy?" Luke said. He had finally stopped coughing. "They have a den in the stadium, but they hunt outside. If we go through, it's quicker. We can be in and out before they even wake up," Penelope told him. Luke shook his head in response. "That is a horrible idea. What do you think, Matt?" The 3 of them looked at him expectantly. Matt's head pounded, but he forced himself to think. It was almost night already. The only chance they had was to get back to base as soon as possible. "We go through," he said. Penelope nodded and Luke lifted his arms, exasperated. Sue put her hand on Matt's shoulder and smiled. "We'll make it," she said. Matt wished he could believe her.